Okay. Azmo coming. He was worked up about something, but we'll find out exactly what he's feeling. Azmo, just on time. How's it going?
Yeah, I was nearby taking a walk, so...
Well, that's always good, considering the fact that, we specifically set up the time, here and stuff, so I'm glad to see you made it.
It's a small place.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's the best I can do. I don't exactly have my own office, but the guy lets me pay him to just have the shop alone for a little bit, so,
How does this... Marcus recommended this to me. But how does this work? Kinda?
We just talk.
I know what I kinda want.
Exactly. That's the entire point. I'm here to help you, Azmo. Yeah, whatever you feel is on your mind and you want to bring up, bring it up. That's the foundation and starting point of us here.
I just wanna know how I could, control my emotions, I suppose. Just, make sure I'm not so heavy on as they should be.
Well, the question then boils down to whether or not you're looking to try and grasp and figure out your emotions naturally, to try and work through them, or
calm them down.
There are drugs for that as well. That was going to be the next option. And then there's, well, a magical option that I'm never the fan of jumping straight to pharmaceutical and magical means of treatment.
I've seen enough magic for months. I don't...
Look, I personally see that kind of thing as a crutch, as sorts. Sure, it has its place. People need help. Taking a pill sometimes helps. Sometimes a magical effect also helps. Depends on whether or not people are able to actually receive any help from a pill, just as a generalization. But personally, I will always say the first thing that should always try to be worked on is someone's understanding of the emotions and how they play a part in themselves as a person. What emotions are you feeling?
No, that. No, I mean, feeling sad, annoyed, guilt, regrets, stress, tired, mostly tired.
So the then question is, why are you feeling those emotions? A lot of negative emotions there, but why negative emotions?
It's difficult. Just every day is just difficult.
That's very true. That's the world we live in, though, unfortunately. Everything is difficult. But I'm going to say that you choose which emotions you feel, Azmo. Or at least attribute. I'm sure you've got happiness in there as well. But when I brought up seeing emotions, what did you bring up? All the negative ones. Why are you bringing up the negative?
Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That, no matter how good my day is, no matter how nice my day is, no matter how far I get, no matter how many good things I do, at the end of the day it just turns to shit. Like yesterday, for example. Yesterday went so well, and it was nice. I laughed. I was able to relax. I mean, I got to hang out alone with Powder in the garage and at Heaven's Reach. Finally, I've been able to do that for two weeks now. Barely been able to do that. And I thought yesterday was nice. And then we get home. I got home a little earlier. And it happens again. Just one thing that's out of my control, out of reach, just ruins the entire day.
And why is
I don't
something out of
know.
your reach, Azmo?
I don't know, I just... It feels like it doesn't matter what I do. It feels like... It feels like no matter what I do, or what I try, or what I say, but at the end of the day it just results to nothing.
And what do you want the result of the end of the day being?
I just want... I just want a nice, relaxing day. A calm day. Where
Well, you said you had a calm day. That you had a
She-
nice day. Oh?
no, I mean a calm day where both me and her can be happy.
I mean, something like that doesn't sound like a difficult thing to achieve.
You would think so. You would think so. It's been very difficult for the last 2 weeks. I mean, I don't care much if I feel sad or I feel depressed or I feel hurt. I don't care much about that. But if she feels hurt or sad, it hurts. It really hurts.
So you're being empathetic to her, and her emotional state affects you quite drastically. Okay.
I know I shouldn't be feeling sad, but really, I'm really trying my best right now not to feel sad, not to feel stressed, not to feel anything bad. Because I know that if I do, she's gonna be worried about me, stressed out, and I can't do that. I can't risk doing that.
So what you're saying is you're currently trying to push yourself specifically for them because you feel that if you show any signs of feeling negative, that they will pick up on that. They will feel negative, and because they then feel negative, you will feel negative, creating a sort of loop of negativity.
It's, we're in a situation that we can pick it up really fast, even if we're not nearby each other.
Okay.
Since the Fade Arc.
Why don't you tell me about that then, Azmo?
about the Feydark?
Sure, if you've gone through an experience together that's had you get this emotionally close to each other and become so intuitive, that's probably a good place to start. What happened to bring about your closeness with them?
Do you just want me to mention the whole Feydark or just the last bit then?
Whatever you
I don't know
feel.
how much you want me.
Whatever you feel is pertinent.
Well, I mean, I've been... After Christmas Eve, I got woke up in the Feydark. And I was stuck there for 2 weeks without anything on me or no means to contact anyone. And I was extremely lonely. To the point that I don't know if it was the loneliness, the fact that I couldn't close my eyes for 2 weeks, or the ridiculous amount of poisons in my system, but I kept seeing them. Seeing the people that I just wanted to spend time with, kept seeing her. Each time I would reach out, they would disappear right in front of me.
Sounds like a
Every day
traumatic
was
experience.
like that. Not knowing what was real, what was fake, and on top of the having to fight for your life at every given moment. Can't even afford to sleep there because of rat cats, dryads, worms, tooth fairies, the bone fairies.
I know what the Fae is like, yes.
The plants were
Done studies. So you're saying that you were stuck in a place and essentially tortured for 2 weeks, where the only
there.
real contact you had was the thought of those around you that you actually cared for. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
And so because of this, you thought of her more than anyone else.
I mean, she's been there since the beginning, you know? Since I don't remember much from my past life. Like, other than a couple of fragments. But in the sewer, when they checked, and they brought me back to the meat rack before I became a security member. She was there since the beginning, you know, and she stayed.
So she holds a special place for you.
She does.
And that's why when she starts feeling bad and you start feeling bad, it becomes such a big issue. Okay.
Yeah, but she's already feeling stressed, and I know she worries about people and about me, and I don't want her to feel my stress on top of her stress, you know?
Well, have you talked to her about it? The first step in having a good communication with someone is, in fact, communicating. She doesn't understand what's going on with you, and if you don't understand what's going on with her, if you don't communicate openly and honestly with each other, you're just going to dance around it. You'll both know that the problem's there, but neither of you is going to address it and hope that it will come together, that it will sort itself out.
No, it's not that. It's, I mean,
But have you talked about it? Have you both sat down in the same room together and talked about the fact that seeing her under stress puts you under stress? And then her being stressed makes you more stressed, and then you being more stressed makes her more stressed. There's only one way to break a cycle. If you're sitting there in a loop with each other, not talking to each other about it in the first place, you're only going to just sit there and feel this is how I should feel, instead of I want to change how I feel. Because doing the same thing over and over again is the definition of insanity. If you're sitting there ignoring the issue, trying to hope that it will get better just by toughing it out, you've got 2 weeks now of evidence showing that toughing it out isn't going to help. You're trying to be strong. I can see that straight away.
I just don't want to stress her out more. Because I already see what it's doing to her. And, I mean, this doesn't even have to do with the fact that every day is a shit show. Like, every day I do my best, and it's like calm, and then she goes like one talk with Ethan, and the entire day is just ruined. Just ruined. She feels stressed, I feel stressed. I don't know what to do. I try the entire night to cheer her up, and I finally managed to do so, only to get you back at work, and just ruined again within 30 minutes.
Then maybe I should be talking to her as well. Maybe I should have you both come in at the same time.
No.
Azmo.
She has too much on her head already. Like, if I can just, like, control my emotions, she only has to worry about her own, and I can help her with that. And
Azmo,
she can, like, finally
look at that window right there. You see your reflection?
Yeah.
Do you look like a man that is currently coping and holding things together for her and not stressing her out?
No.
Exactly. Look, I know as men, we're taught to be strong, we're taught to never show our emotions, to not show weakness, because most of the time it gets used against us. It's not a healthy thing that we've been taught, but that's how it has been through most of everyone's life when it comes to it. But what I'm going to say here is the fact that you're being open about your emotions is not a bad thing. But your focus being on the negatives only. You've told me at this point that you have been happy, that you have brought her mood up, that your mood has been up, that you've been at a place you want to be at. So what has caused those moments? You're focused very much on how bad things have gotten, how quickly it can go down. Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on those moments that have kept you up, that have made her happy and you happy. That's where you want to be, and that's where you want her to be. So what has helped those moments? Because focusing on the negativity is not going to help you or her.
I don't know what helped those moments. I think the only thing I can think of is the fact that we, at those moments where I enjoyed myself most, we were not always alone, but we were just relaxed. We could sit together. You know, we could hug, cuddle, and just sit next to each other.
Okay.
I could rest my head against her, you know, just simple, nice things.
And have you told her that's what helps you to be happy and relaxed?
No.
You see, and this is where communication comes in. Because if you don't tell her that's how you feel happy and relaxed, that might stress her out. And then suddenly you go down the negative path again, don't you?
True.
Take a minute to wipe your eyes if you need it, Azmo.
Oh.
The points that I'm going to bring up are, as it stands, your communication with her. You obviously communicate very well. You can sit there, you can relax, you can cuddle, you can put your heads together. You've got a good baseline of emotional health between each other, obviously. I will say that it might not be that emotionally healthy to be so invested in each other, but there's nothing wrong with that. As long as you both understand how to be happy instead of focusing on the negativity. As it stands, talking to her is probably the first major thing you need to do. Because you need to know exactly what causes her to be stressed. It might stress her to talk about that. That's why I say coming to me and being together here and talking through it might help you both. Because getting you both on the same page so that you can both relax and understand why you stress each other occasionally. Because you can look at the outside contributing factors as other people are a stressor, yes. But also, being this emotionally dependent on each other is also a stressor. Because you are stressing about making sure that she is not stressed. And that becomes a bad cycle again.
I mean, I'm trying my best, but
Well, obviously you are. Look,
I
the
don't
fact
know
that
if
you've reached
that's
out to
enough.
me, Azmo. You have reached out and you're sitting in front of me right now looking for help. That is good. That is healthy. You want someone to help you. I'm not going to sit here and drag you through it. I'm not going to be behind you pushing you forward. But I'll stand next to you and help guide you to where you want to be. I'll do my best to help you when you stumble along, pick you back up again. I'm not going to force you forward. I'm not going to hold you back. Okay? Everything I'm saying and trying to do for you is as a professional and a friend. Okay? I don't want to see my friends upset. But I don't let it affect me.
because it's hard to not let me that affect me. I mean,
Exactly.
we quite literally feel each other's emotion. We quite literally feel each other's
Oh, it's
emotions.
an actual
which
literal
is
thing.
why I'm
See, that would have been nicer, Azmo.
really
Okay.
struggling right now because I feel like the moment I let my guard down right here, she's gonna be bombarded with a lot of emotions,
Right.
which I feel like I shouldn't do right now.
So in that
Like,
case,
of
Azmo,
today,
is
of
there
all
a
days, I
distance?
couldn't.
If you're actually emotionally linked in a physical sense, as you are essentially saying. See, I had this slight misconception that you were just empathetic towards each other, that you were very close in the way that you could, well, basic visual tics of a person's body language alone can set someone else off into a likewise state. That's what being empathetic is about. But if you're telling me that you're actually emotionally linked through some way, like if you are actually feeling her emotions and likewise, then it's a bit different, because now I don't want to medicate you. Because I don't know what medication affecting you might affect her in a negative way. Same goes for magic. I'd prefer not to use either of those now, because I don't want you being on something to accidentally affect her, because that would then again be counterintuitive. So that's why we're going to help you.
Wait, so a while back about you said that using any kind of that stuff is bad.
None of that is bad at all, Azmo. It just means I know what to focus on.
Medicine or magic. Using medicine or magic
Yeah.
to control one some more.
Look. Okay, I'm going to put the book away for a moment. Because I'm going to explain how these kind of things work. If I was to prescribe you medicine,
I
you know how emotions
used
work.
happy magic.
Wait, did you get something from Flurry?
Myself. Yeah, I got this small bottle and I kept taking drops yesterday. Each time, because I had to alternate between going to the shop and going to Marcus to check on both of them because they were not doing well, so I took a happy magic drops to make sure that I wouldn't lose it. I couldn't sleep at all that night. I
now
didn't sleep
see
yesterday either.
Okay, look, Azmo, calm. There's nothing wrong with that. It's only a stipulation. I'm only making a guess at it. I know where emotions come from, okay? It's how the brain processes, well, input. It's like you have a computer. That's what the brain is. But
I don't like having it.
you felt you had to rely on something to get yourself through. It might have only affected you. And the fact that it did affect you is good because, well, obviously through this empathetic link you are going to be, well, happy, and thus she would feel happy as well. If any outside effects are, without it being actively documented, without me having an actual true working knowledge of how your link with her works, I can't say for certain. Again, I'm only making an educated guess that something could go down that link to her if you are actually linked in an actual way like that. I'm not exactly up to scratch on that kind of mentality. It's not something that I've been trained for. But what I will say, Azmo, there's nothing wrong with using medicinal magic to try and bring your mood up. Why do you think people drink? Why do you think people take drugs? It's just mood boosters. It's just changing the chemical makeup in your brain to make you feel differently than you normally would. People, unfortunately, then start becoming dependent on those kind of things. Which is why I'm worried that if I was to prescribe you medicine or anything of a magical means, that it would potentially, A, not only affect her, as I now know that it's an actual link, it's not just a subconscious thing, but also the fact that you might gain a dependency on such a thing, because if you can't regulate your emotions yourself and start requiring an outside source to do that for you, that's how a dependency forms, and I don't want to get you addicted to something. That's why we're talking here right now, Azmo. We're here to work through the emotions properly, okay? That's why we're talking. Right now, I can guess that you're feeling extremely sad and that you are punishing yourself because you did something that you thought would help, and now you're feeling that it might have hindered, it might have hurt. But have you talked to her since you took that magic?
Well, we talked. I didn't talk about it, but we had.
Well, yes, I wasn't
nice.
talking about if you'd asked her if she felt anything specific, but I'm assuming if she would have brought up something that she had felt it, saying, I felt weirdly happy for no reason yesterday, that would be an indicator.
I used drops, so I didn't instantly get happy, but but instead just to
I never thought about microdosing happiness before. That is
just get rid of the sad emotions
interesting.
and just so there's only the
Okay.
good emotions.
Right. So, outright forcing one emotional state is not going to be healthy. Imagine you're a flat line, Azmo. All your emotions on this line, okay? If suddenly only one of them is high and all the others are down here, it's going to change everything about you. Like, these no longer matter, but this one up here does, because that's the primary focus, that's all you're feeling. You don't have a healthy mixed balance of emotional feeling within the cocktail, as it were.
Yeah,
What we need to work on
I just
is your communication with her to start off, okay? Because you're not talking about what you're currently feeling with her, she is probably picking that up. And because you don't want to bring it up to her, it stresses you.
but I'm not good at this. I'm not good at the talking. I keep
Azmo,
fucking up each time.
what
I
have
keep
you been
fucking
doing
up.
this entire time? You've been talking, you've been explaining your emotions. You're perfectly good at this. You're doing great so far. You've explained to me exactly what you're feeling and why you feel it. Why can you explain it to me and not to her?
Because it's different. It's different. It's different. It's when I look at you, I need your Ater, your friend, your therapist.
Okay.
Like it's
You know what?
completely different than.
Imagine I'm her then. Think of me as her. What would you say?
I can't. I can't do that.
If I have to pull out Paige and make myself look like her in your eyes, it's going to be weird for you. But I'll do it.
No, you don't. You're not. It's not the same. It's not the same. Even if.
Azmo, what I'm trying to get you to do is something called roleplay, okay? The use of the imagination to be able to see me as her so that you can maybe get an idea of how to talk to her about what I'm telling you. Because right now, you're talking to me, right? You're talking to Ater. What's the difference between telling a friend and telling someone you care about the exact same thing? Right? If you're talking to me about all of this, and it's helping you a little bit, because you're sorting through your emotions slowly, she'll understand as well. If you are that close to her, she'll know what you're getting at. She'll understand why.
I'm gonna look. If I could, I would pretend that you're her. Just for this thing that we're trying to do would work, but I can't. I can't because, like,
You don't have that
Pretending,
emotional
like,
connection
I can
in the
pretend
same
you're
way that you
Marker.
do actually
Okay.
have with her. I get it.
I can pretend like you're her, but it's like doesn't matter. Because like
Okay.
it's special.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Look, I'm going to keep saying it until I get even bluer in the face, which is, well, going to be a bit easy considering I don't have any pigment in the first place, really. You are going to need to talk to her, Azmo. That right there is step number one. As much as you think it's going to be a difficult thing, and it will be difficult, but she's there for you as well. You're wanting to talk to her about the fact that you want to know what to say?
Peter,
You don't know the words.
what do I say to her? That I'm sorry that I can't like. Sorry, I can't sleep without you. I'm sorry for stressing you out or something, or like that I
Yes. That's exactly what you say. You say, I'm sorry that I feel stressed and worried, and I care about you so much that anytime I feel that about it, it affects you. How can I help you to not feel that way? Ask her how to help her. Because she'll know how she wants to be helped. And by helping her, you'll help yourself, won't you? Because if she tells you what you need to do to take the stress from her, you can do that, can't you?
What if I fuck up? I've been fucking up so often.
There's nothing wrong with fucking up, Azmo, because if she cares as much as you care, because I see a man in front of me filled with nothing but care for this, even if you fuck up, she will tell you, and she'll forgive you for fucking up.
She doesn't forgive.
So you're focusing on the negatives, Azmo. Why would she, of all people, not forgive you for fucking up? If you've spent the last 2 weeks in this kind of loop of feeling depressed and sad and angry and confused about everything, wouldn't that be a fuck up? Yet she's still there and she still talks to you, right? That shows that she understands.
If I fuck up, like, because I haven't, maybe, because I haven't been talking about this, I fucked up, because what am I to her? What's the matter? What's, like, the point of me? Like, there's nothing I'm doing correctly.
Ask her.
Keeping yelled at the end of the day is no. What if I ask her and it's like, I'll fuck up, and she's just gonna replace me with Eden anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Then what have you got to lose in asking her in the first place? If it doesn't matter, what do you have to lose? You want to make sure that she understands how you feel for her, that how she feels matters to you, right? So if this entire time has been nothing but you fucking up and she is still here, she's got care for you, Azmo. And you talking about it and asking her for how you can help her and any clarifications that you want as to a relationship, there is nothing wrong with asking. If anything, she'd probably be happy that you did. Because then she can tell you what you want to know. You're a complicated guy, Azmo. I can tell that. A lot of people around the rack could look at you and go, oh, it's Azmo. He's big, dumb meathead. You're a complex guy. You're more than just your muscles. I see an emotionally turmoiled man in front of me, trying his best to figure it out. And you can. But not just my help. I'm happy to keep sitting here and telling you over and over again, but my telling you isn't going to be what helps you. It's her telling you, because you need to hear it from her. And the only way you're going to hear it from her is if you ask. Just find a cafe like this. There are plenty around, I'm sure. Ask her to meet you at a cafe, sit down, get a coffee or something like a lemonade.
I don't have to do that.
Exactly.
I don't need to do that. I'm staying over at her place, so.
Then, look, tell you what. Do you want me to box up, like, some of the cakes they've got here and, like, a couple of lemonades? You take them back to her place. You sit down with her. You say, here's some stuff. Can we talk? Just that is the first thing you say. Can we talk? I would like to talk about this. Once you've broached the subject, You don't have to make it a sad affair. You can sit there and sip a drink and eat a cake and talk about why you have feelings and why you feel so deeply. Ask her what you can do. What do you mean you don't think you can? Azmo, you have sat here.
No, I don't think.
You have sat here for the
I
last
don't think
45
we can keep
minutes
it together.
telling me about your feelings. You've got a lot of feelings, and you care deeply for her. You're a sensitive person. You're an emotional person. You just need to talk to her about your emotions for her, and if she has emotions about you. Talking about feelings isn't easy. And I hate to have to say the words, but you're going to have to rip off the Band-Aid. You have to take the risk. You have to hope that whatever damage that you have to yourself is healed enough to be able to ask her. Because if you don't ask her, it's only going to get worse.
I don't want it to get worse, but I don't know if I can risk it.
Okay, Azmo, let's go down the logic here. You don't risk it. You sit here, you keep holding on to this. What's going to happen? You keep feeling this way. You start using happy magic or drugs or whatever you need to try and keep your emotional state stable and perked up just for her. You become dependent on that. And whether or not that then starts affecting her because she sees you going through that. She catches you doing that kind of thing to make her happy. How do you think that's going to make her feel? She's going to be sad. She's going to be upset. She's going to feel like she blames herself for you putting yourself through something for her. Right? That's horrid, isn't it? That's the opposite of what you want. That's the damage under that Band-Aid festering. That's going septic. It's going to start causing more harm. But you're hiding it under the Band-Aid then. Or you talk to her. You risk taking that Band-Aid off and opening the wound to the air. But whether or not that wound is healed doesn't matter in that case. Because at least then you can see if there is damage and how to repair it. If it's going septic, you can clean it. Or if it's scabbing up and it's healing, you can just leave it alone. You can let it heal naturally. But she needs to know what you're feeling. Because if she doesn't know what you're feeling in this way, emotions and being able to communicate them are completely separate. Feeling happy or sad, feeling neglected, dejected, depressed. It's how people interpret those emotions completely differently from another person. How I would feel depressed would be completely different from how you feel depressed. My sadness is different to your sadness. The same would go for her. Her sadness and depression would feel completely different from yours.
You're basically telling me that I have to risk losing her to prevent me from the risk of losing her. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense, and
Yes, it makes sense because you're in the loop already. You're sitting here having one small bad thing occur, and what happens? You end up like this, right? You've literally told me that you have a great day. Everything's fine, you're happy, she's happy. You're both enjoying life, you're in your lane, you're vibing. And then even one small thing happens and it all just crumbles. That's not healthy, Azmo. The emotional stability being balanced on a pinhead is not good. Because the moment you feel bad or she feels bad and it plummets off that cliff edge and you both start feeling terrible and you feed off each other, that's not healthy. I'm telling you, you have to take this risk because what is worse? You keep going through this cycle over and over again, nothing changing, just feeling worse and worse each time because you didn't fix the problem. because the problem's still there. Or taking that risk to break that cycle. Because even if you talk to her and it comes out negatively, you can still be friends. You can still talk. The fact that you broached it in the first place, the fact that you're showing the emotional capability to open up to her and want to talk about it in the first place. It's not going to be easy, Azmo. And I will say that it is best for you to do so. No drugs, no magic. Just the man that I see in front of me, talking to the woman that he needs to talk to. And you will be fine.
Look at me, I'm a mess.
So? We're all messes in our own way, Azmo. There's nothing wrong with being a mess. The fact that you came here, sat down there in that chair, and have been vulnerable and open and communicated with me what you have needed. Why can't you do that with her? If it stresses her, it stresses her.
No.
But that's the thing. You can come back.
Her.
You can come back up from that. Because you've been through those weeks, right? Where you have been stressed and bad, but you have still been able to find happiness. You've still been able to bring it back up to that level again. So talking to her, even if you go back down to the lowest of low, and as tacky as it sounds, you only have up to go from there. Because at least even at the lowest point, and that's saying if it goes the worst possible way where you bringing it up to her has somehow triggered something in her that I don't know of. You can still be friends.
I don't know. That's all I want, obviously.
Exactly. You don't know. And she won't know until you tell her. You obviously have to make the first move here because it's eating you up.
Look, you know,
I haven't looked away yet, Azmo.
I don't care if we're not. I don't care if, like, we're not. Me and her are not friends after this, as long as I can, like, be there. That's
Of course. Look, then explain that to her.
No. You're not making so much sense. You're telling me that I have to risk stressing her out to prevent stressing her out. You're telling me that I have to
Yes.
do things that will clearly make her sad to prevent her from feeling sad. It doesn't make sense.
And that's what's called an oxymoronic statement. Yes. You have to have the risk of that potentially happening. It's not a guaranteed that she will be stressed or upset by this. Not guaranteed at all. I'm saying you have to risk it because otherwise it's going to keep happening anyway, isn't it? But nothing will change because it's the same thing. You'll keep doing the same thing. You'll keep bringing yourself back up again and she'll be up there. And then one small bad thing will happen. What happens? You go right back down to the bottom again. If you come forward to her to talk about your problems, at least you take yourself off the board as one of those problems that she probably thinks about. Because she's probably doing the same. If she's feeling what you're feeling, the fact that she's probably trying her best to bring herself up for you as well. If you understand that, if you talk to her... Exactly. See? If you talk to her and she tells you what I've been saying, that she's been trying to keep herself up for you, what happens? You know that you can help her because you can tell her that you've been doing the same thing. You can present a united front. You both get on the same page. You're at the starting line of being able to understand how to help each other instead of just accidentally feeding off of the negativity of each other. Okay.
I can try.
Let's draw it up as a plan, okay then, Azmo? So what are you going to do?
I'll come home and talk about it with her.
How are you going to bring it up?
By asking if we can talk.
What I will say is, bring up that you're going to talk about your feelings at the start as well. If it's a conversation she doesn't want to have, okay, if it's a conversation she doesn't want, you can drop it there and that's fine. It doesn't put any risk on it and we can work together on finding a different way to help you. Okay? Plans are plans.
Okay.
I'm here to help you as best I can with these kind of things, Azmo.
Yeah.
If she doesn't want to talk about the emotions and the feelings, that's fine. We'll find a different way. My personal professional opinion is first getting her to see if she will, because if she won't talk about it, that's fine. If she will, then you know what to ask about. You know how to ask about the fact that you're feeling sad and stressed whenever she is, and you want to try and prevent that, and how can you help? Ask her questions about herself, and then see if she has questions for you.
I'll try.
I know you will.
She's
I believe you'll do great.
already there. She's probably already there stressing about me.
Well, the fact is, you're already
Maybe she's
calming
not
down
even
a little
stressing
bit.
about me. Oh, I wish.
Considering the fact
Maybe
that
she's
you
not
were
even stressing
flailing
about
around
me.
before, Azmo, that you didn't understand how to even just process any of this, and now you're sitting here calmly and listening, shows that you've got that emotional development in you. You're
I'm
ready
just
to understand
tired.
your emotions. Exactly. There's nothing wrong with being tired. You've been putting yourself through the emotional ringer for 2 weeks now. That would tire anyone out. You don't have to ask her tonight.
I feel like I'm gonna have to. If I'm feeling like this, then she's probably feeling it. And
Okay.
I should probably run home in a bit, really fast. But just
Well, look, okay, Azmo,
take a moment.
it's about the time for the session to end anyway, but don't run home. Stand up, come here. Stand up. You've got this, okay? Don't run home. Walk home. Think of questions as you walk. Okay? Take a bit of time. And what I will say is, do you know a breathing technique to at least calm yourself a little? That'll help as well.
Marcus stopped me one.
Yeah, the in through the nose for 3 and then out through the mouth for 3.
Yeah, that's one Marcus stopped me.
That's a good breathing technique to have. If you start feeling stressed on your walk back when you think of a question, remember that question because it's probably an important one. And just use the breathing technique to calm yourself a little, okay? Take it slow.
Okay.
Take it relaxed. No question is a bad question, okay? Because the more questions you ask and the more questions you can get her to ask you, the more you will both understand where you both stand on things. And when you both understand, because you'll be here to begin with. You won't know exactly where you are, but slowly, as questions are asked, you come together. It'll be like cracks in glass. Slowly, just a little randomly, and eventually they meet. You've got this,
That's right.
Azmo. I believe in you, okay? And
I
don't
believe-
forget, you can still send me a text message anytime you want. If you feel like you need to set up an appointment again or you have a pressing question, send me a text. I will get back to you as soon as I can. I apologize that sometimes I get a bit engrossed in my research and I'm not always listening for my phone because I have
No,
to manually listen.
It's fine. It's fine. Lately, I've not been really wanting to hang out with people. I've been more in the mood not to hang out with people
I'm honored
lately.
that you came to
so,
me for help and advice, okay?
No,
Yeah? You did great, okay? You got this. I
no,
believe in you,
so-
man. I believe in you. Go talk to the woman that you need to talk to, okay?
I'll go talk to her.
We'll set up another appointment after at some point in time. You can tell me how it's gone, okay?
The cakes today.
You're fine. I've got another patient coming in a minute as well, so. But I think you've had a bit of a breakthrough here, at least. You at least now are willing to go forward and take the risk that you couldn't before because you realize that if you don't, it was only going to stay the same. Nothing changes if you don't let it. Now, get out of here, okay? I'll listen out for a text message from you to hear how it went. Okay?
I probably won't send you one today. I'm
Perfectly
done for
fine.
today with therapy.
Okay. Well, I'll see you soon, alright, Azmo? Oh, yeah, okay.
you.
Okay, big guy, you're fine. You don't gotta thank me yet. Okay, yeah, let me just press the digitation that off. You're fine.
I'll see you like Wednesday or next weekend.
Sure thing. You have a good one.